In this podcast, we're going to explore the idea that it is not your fault that you're single and frustrated with relationships. It's not your fault that America is falling apart. It's not your fault that the society that we have taken for granted to be organized and stable, that society is falling apart. None of it is your fault. So whose fault is it? Why are we mostly single, unhappy, and frustrated and disappointed with relationships? To answer this question, we're going to expand our point of view into the entire country and the world and ask the question, who is responsible for order in society? And that is the job of institutions. Our institutions are the ones responsible for social order or social disorder. And when we don't have institutions, when we don't have places with such responsibilities, then that is the cause for why our connections, our families, our cultures, and our communities are falling apart. We believe that it is our responsibility to fix everything in our lives. And we should remember that our lives and the environments inside of which we live our lives, these are outcomes of hundreds of years of civilization. The development of the American culture or the European culture or the Asian culture, these cultures and these communities and those families in those communities have become who they are over the span of centuries, sometimes even thousands of years. And so the society that we have inherited today is a society that has been built where the institutions were placed with responsibilities to take care of our needs throughout our lives. So we have the institutions that protect the kids, we have the institutions for marriage, we have the court systems, we have a lot of institutions that are supposed to take care of peace and order and love in our lives. What has happened with dating and with relationships, and this has happened in the gay culture, this has happened in the straight culture, is that the institutions that are supposed to maintain that order and offer us a productive and healthy way of dating coming together, these institutions either don't exist or they have not influenced the dating systems or opportunities or businesses in our culture to such a degree where we have the kind of solutions that are authentically loving, caring, healthy, productive, efficient, and good for us. Instead, the way that people meet today is very primitive. And this summarizes why most of us are single, because the institutions have failed us. These institutions either don't exist or they don't have the protocols offered to us that ensure that when we have friendships and relationships, that these friendships and relationships were made possible in an environment like a fertile garden. And so this social space of a fertile garden, that social space is not your responsibility to produce. It's the responsibility of the culture, the institutions that are supposed to govern this space of dating and relationships. And so that's why when you are going out there meeting strangers, meeting people, nothing is working, because those spaces where you meet people are not spaces that are carefully crafted and specifically developed for the production of relationships. Everything is random, everything is winged, and everything is primitive. And that's why it's not working. The reason why you need to know about this is so that you know what needs to be done to bring love and healthy friendships and relationships to your life. You need to find the places, those institutions, those organizations that exist specifically for the purpose of ensuring a healthy, loving space for dating and relationships. Because that's when you can relax. That's when you can be just yourself, and that organization, that institution, that place will take care of all the rest, which is what should have existed in our society to begin with. But for reasons that are outside of this podcast, these institutions and these places don't exist anymore. They used to exist, they don't exist anymore, and they're not coming back. So you either join one or you build one yourself. So I built one already. It's called the Big Gay Family Social Program. It's like an institution. It's an organization. We have rules. We have protocols. We have a systems approach to dating. We have ritualized dating into a 12-step kind of routine. And you follow this routine. And when you follow it, you succeed faster. You connect easier. The mistakes don't happen. The trauma doesn't happen. The environment is protected from abuse. And this is why it works better than anything you've ever tried, because what you don't have right now is this environment that's like a garden. You are meeting complete strangers, hoping for the best, but realizing that relationships require so many layers of protection that it's not enough to just meet people. You have to meet them in the right places. You need to meet them in places that are protected by institutions, by protocols, by rules of engagement. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be wild, wild west and primitivism that always results in just one thing, and that's sex. And then you back to square one, realizing that you need ultimately a fertile ground. And this fertile ground is not just a sexual ground, it's an emotional, spiritual, mental, and sexual ground where a wholesome experience of human beings is supposed to be facilitated, not randomized or winged, because it's so important. Dating is the most important ritual in your life. It has to be perfected if you want beautiful relationships, if you want transcendence, if you want purpose in your life. It will happen through their relationships. And these relationships will happen through dating. So the organizations, the institutions that have perfected that are the ones who will give you the freedom for you to relax, to be yourself, because they'll take care of the psychological dimension, the sociological and philosophical dimensions of what makes human relationships grow and blossom into lifelong committed relationships forever. We have the understanding of what's required to make that happen, but unfortunately, we don't have spaces to do that. And you will need that space. You will need that container. And that's why I've been inviting all of you all these years to come and join us at the Big Gay Family, because that is a place that's fertile, that's empowered, where you can meet gay men the way that you were meant to meet them, in a loving, friendly, relaxed, and facilitated way, where most of the abuse and neglect and indifference has been eliminated. And what's left is a pure, loving experience of friends and romantic relationships. So when you think about relationships more strategically, you will recognize that relationships are the outcome of 3 layers working together. And that is a culture layer, community layer, and family layer. So what made love possible in the 20th century, 19th century, was the fact that these layers worked together. But today, we don't have a functional cultural, community, or family layers. And this is why most of our interactions don't work. And it's not your fault to make this happen. It is the fault of the institutions that were responsible to maintain this coherent, structural foundation for our lives where the culture, the community, and the family layers worked together. And so I wanted to share this with you so that you understand the big picture, so that you don't blame yourself for your relationship struggles, for your frustrations, and instead you rebuild the requirements so that those relationships happen automatically. And you'll need a container for that. And I helped you see why you need that in this podcast. So please subscribe to my channel if you're new so that we learn together. If you're ready for a transformation, join us at the Big Gay Family Social Program. And to do that, visit the website biggayfamily.com. Okay, my friends, signing off. I'll be talking to you in the next podcast. Take care.